How to make a Myerson EMA anti-snore device using the Erkodur 2.0 material. To begin, turn the unit on. You'll be prompted to clean the heat sensor using a soft cloth. Wipe the heat sensor in a circular motion. Examine your duplicate models thoroughly. Look for any distortions or bubbles. Using a plaster knife, clean out any bubbles or inclusions that may have occurred during the duplication process. For the hard Erkodur 2.0 material, you will need to block out all of the deepest undercuts, such as in the embrasures and the interproximal areas. The blockout material shown here is Adsit base. The technician is slowly going around the gingival areas and filling in all the deep depressions. Next, spray an accelerator to cure the blockout material more quickly. Allow the models to dry on the bench for 30 minutes, or dry models under ventilation for 10 minutes. Make sure the blockout is complete. Next, mark the midline on the upper and lower models. Place the 25mm EMA template on the model. Mark the upper model on the interproximal area between the cuspid and the first bicuspid. Line the template up again and mark the lower model. Do the same for the opposite side of the arches. Using a black Sharpie, redraw the markings on the model. This will make it easier to see through the thermoformed material. Evaluate all your marks. Start the Erkoform 3D by pressing the List of Foils button. Select Erkodur. Select the 2mm material. Verify the heat temperature and the cool-down time. Tap the green check mark to begin the program. The Erkoform 3D will show you a quick video explaining the next steps. Bury the base of the model in the granules. Make sure there are no granules on the rim of the pressure pot or on the teeth of the model. Remove an Erkodur 2.0 thermoforming foil from its packaging. Notice the label is on the bottom of the foil. Remove the locking ring from the foil holder. Place the foil label side down into the foil holder. Reattach the locking ring. Turn the foil holder underneath the heating element. This will automatically start the heating cycle. When the heating cycle is about halfway through, the vacuum pump will start. When nearing completion of the heating cycle, an audible sound will be heard and a red light on the control panel will flash. A warning to keep your hands free of the Erkoform machine will also be displayed. When the heating cycle is complete, the Erkoform 3D motion will automatically turn the heated foil to the forming pot and drop it onto the model. The unit will then activate the rapid vacuum pot and form the heated foil to the model. The cool-down timer will automatically begin. When the cool-down timer is complete, the vacuum pump will release, and the display will show another short video of the next steps. Release the locking ring and remove the foil. Lightly tap on the foil to dislodge any granules that have stuck to the foil. Replace the locking ring to the foil holder. Lift and turn to the right. Use the same steps for thermoforming the opposing tray. Load a Brasseler H219 cutting burr into a low-speed handpiece. start cutting the material on the lingual of the model. Cut in the shape of the teeth about 2 mm from the gingival edge. Do the same with the opposing tray. Continue cutting the facial of the model. Stay about 5 mm away from the teeth, cutting straight across. When your initial cut is complete, cut a line from the back molar to the edge of the disc. Using a plaster knife, gently pry the device off of the model. Some teeth on the model will break during this process. Then, spread the remaining formed material from the model and allow the model to fall out of the foil. Using a brown Lisco disc, do bulk reshaping along the tissue edge of the device. On the lingual, follow the shape of the initial cut. On the facial, try to get the device as flat as possible, staying about 2 mm away from the teeth. Next, go over the edges of the appliance and slightly round the edges. Using the blue Lisco disc, refine and smooth all edges. Hold the appliance at a slight angle to round the edges. Remove the inner spacer and any broken teeth from the model with a knife. Inspect the device for accuracy. The finished lines for the upper should appear as follows. Posterior buccal, approximately 1 to 3 mm from the gingival. Anterior facial, at the gingival line. Lingual, approximately 1 mm scalloped from the gingival. Use the same steps of refining with the brown Lisco and finishing with the blue Lisco disc on the opposing tray. Remove the inner spacer and any broken teeth from the model with a knife. The finished lines for the lower should appear as follows. Posterior buccal, approximately 3 to 5 mm from the gingival. Anterior facial, at the gingival line. Lingual, approximately 5 mm flat from the gingival. Use a brown Lisco disc to roughen the buccal areas marked on the upper model. Next, roughen the buccal area that was marked on the lower model. Also, roughen the occlusal area above the first molar. To prepare acrylic, add acrylic powder to a mixing cup. Then add monomer liquid. Using a spatula, mix the acrylic thoroughly. The acrylic may be runny at first, so let the mixture set up on the bench until it has reached a doughy state. Add a small amount of monomer to an empty mix cup. Check the mixture to verify its consistency. Using a spatula, scoop a small amount of acrylic mixture and place it on the areas above the first molar. Wet the spatula with the monomer liquid and shape. Place the bite pads on the occlusal area above the molars. Do the same on the other side of the arch. Closely examine the placement of the bite pads to make sure they are on a flat plane. Place acrylic on the buccal area over the marks on the lower model. Then place the strap hooks on the buckles. Place the hooks facing distally and slightly downward. For the upper, place acrylic over the marks on the buckle area. Then place the strap hooks. Place the hooks facing mesially and slightly upward. Put the models into a pressure pot. This will aid in curing the acrylic. Lock the lid onto the pot. Attach the compressed air line. Air pressure should be between 13 and 23 psi. The water temp should be 85 degrees. After 2 minutes, remove the air hose from the pressure pot. Release the air by pressing the release valve. Open the lid and remove the models. Take the trays off of the duplicate models. Dry the inside and outside of the trays using a clean cloth towel. Place the trays on the master models. Inspect the trays for fit. Using a small torch, quickly run the flame over the trays to create a high gloss finish. Remove a set of yellow 21mm EMA straps from the strap kit. Slip the straps over the hooks on the upper tray. Then over the hooks of the lower tray. Perform a final QC of the appliance before delivery.